Potatoes are underground tubers. They're genetically distinct, despite sharing similar culinary uses and flavors and everything.
Potatoes
They're
are
just completely different.
Yeah.
They are not. That's the thing. They are not the same.
Are you telling me Vic Fangio and a different defensive coordinator would not be? All right. Let's take this.
Nice
on.
try. I appreciate the attempt. And then I appreciate also bailing on the attempt. And let's just get to it.
Yeah.
Let's just get to it. So what the hell is going on here? All right. Something feels fishy. Vic Fangio came here 2 years ago, and he returned home. Now, I know he's, older, but he's not old. And, he's going to bail, and he's going to stay, and now we don't know if he's going to bail or stay. Some just don't feel right. Jimmy Kempski, let me read you from Kempski over the weekend at Philly Voice. Here's what Kempski wrote over the weekend. According to multiple sources, the Philadelphia Eagles got a big scare recently when legendary defensive coordinator Vic Fangio informed the team he was retiring from coaching in the NFL. However, sources said that Fangio was convinced by the team's brass to stay for at least one more season in 2026. For now, Fangio is back. Though it should be noted that Philly Voice reached out to an Eagles spokesperson to confirm that Fangio is still the team's defensive coordinator, and they declined to answer until further notice.
What do you think this is saying? I mean, this place looks so messy. It looked so messy during the coaching search, and we're wondering, holy cow, how come no one's coming here to Philadelphia? Isn't it an attractive job? That's when we started asking, is this an attractive job?
Right.
What do you think Vic Fangio is saying right now? Vic Fangio's in a building where he just watched Jeff Stoutland get hung out to dry. Jeff Stoutland, last week we learned, was demoted during the season. One of the most, respected, revered coaches around this league. What do you think that message is that's sent to Vic Fangio when Jeff Stoutland is demoted? And then his face is rubbed in it after the season. His face
Whose face?
was
Fangio?
Jeff Stoutland's face
Okay.
was. That was, for whatever reason, that was rehashed. That was brought back up. That is not a great look for your organization. What we saw last season was friction all throughout the offensive side.
Yeah.
Now, what we're perceiving is you got some issues on the good side, air quotes, good side of the ball. So how bad is it? I mean, we saw red flags all over the place.
Right.
These coaches from the outside certainly saw red flags. That's part of why that search just took 3 weeks, and we hired 2 young coaches with relative inexperience who are just going to have to come together and figure out how to do this. I'm telling you, things are slipping away. And by the way, our head coach, who the organization said wasn't good enough at the coaching part, he's now supposed to be the CEO holding all of this together.
You're right.
Does it feel like all of this is being held together by the CEO? Does Nick Sirianni feel like the kind of guy who was voted most likely to be CEO in his high school yearbook, or the guy voted most likely to be a coach? This guy's dad's a coach. His brothers are all coaches. He talks only about coaching. This guy is a coach through and through, but you told him he's not good enough as a coach to coach. You said, hey, we're going to take away your coaching. You're now CEO. You think he knows how to do that? I would say it feels like he's sort of figuring this out as he goes, and he's not doing a good enough job with it.
Well, things feel totally out of whack. So let me get to this. And, of course, 215-592-9494 for you to weigh in on the Fangio thing. There's a lot of elements to it, including if he does retire, who they'd get. We'll get to that. But, John, it sounds to me like you don't buy that it's just older guy that might retire. I don't.
I've been around.
Let me be clear.
I've been around a lot of situations where the offseason comes and the front office is asking guys, please stay on for another year, this sort of thing. It does happen a lot.
It does.
I don't know where this came from with Vic. I don't know if it's out of the blue. I don't know if this was something that was, he was ruminating on this, like sort of wondering, hey, how much longer do I have this in me? It does feel to me like this is kind of out of the blue. Guy feels like a lifer. I thought we were all talking about, hey, this is what we need. An older guy who loves the city, lives here, just wants to coach and be here.
Yeah, I mean,
now he's saying, hey, this building is messed up enough that I don't want to be here. That's possibly what's happening here, and that concerns me as a fan. Yeah. Vic Fangio, I thought, was dyed in the wool. Like, no matter, come hell or high water, no matter how bad it gets, Vic Fangio is going to try to figure out a way through it to the other side because it really does matter to him as much as it matters to us.
Well, it makes me wonder how much all the nonsense played a part in this.
Absolutely.
And continues to
play. This is nonsense. The whole concept that we have going on here in Philadelphia, this idea that you hire the coach who's complicit instead of the coach who is great at coaching, that part, it got away from him this time.
Well, to me, that's part of it, but it's not even perhaps just that. It could be that.
It's ridiculous.
But, it's also just how great Fangio's coaching has been and how great the defense has been. And I see, what the hell? When you really roll it back, the big picture is this was a huge wasted opportunity for the Eagles this year, and Fangio knows that. I mean, come on, guys. This was a team. If I told you just these two things, the defense
just won it.
Defense is going to be outstanding, and the offense is going to have all these players. Forget what they became, but these are the players. You'd say, of course, this is a team that should be competing for the Super Bowl. They didn't at all. They didn't even come close. James, what do you make of this? And again, everyone 215, 67-year-old guys, actually been thinking of retirement and okay. But, I mean, and that would be a problem too because that would just represent if you were to retire, you don't have them. But James, it strikes me as
by the way, his right-hand man just went to Dallas also, which is a problem.
James, what do you make of this?
So I do think, look, he's going to turn 68 in August. Yep. So, I don't think we could totally push that to the side. I hope to not be working when I'm 68, so I do think there is a part of it that is I'm 68 years old, I'm good. But yeah, I think the suddenness of it, the fact that Christian Parker did leave if the Eagles news was happening, that there's all kinds of weird angles to this thing.
How about this, that the Eagles won't comment on his status?
Well, that too. Yeah,
that
strange.
To me tells me
that it's all real. He's really thinking about it, whether he stays or doesn't. And look, I think part of it is probably it was a tough year, and I think he's old too. It's hard to want to deal with all that. He just won a Super Bowl. He's got all that. So I'm torn on it. I think it's part of both things. I think it's maybe the situation, but I think it's as much he's an old guy who kind of is good.
Could be.
We want Vic Fangio to coach forever. He's 68 years old. There are 10 coaches in the league, maybe less. 8 coaches, 6 coaches at that age. It's old to coach in the NFL.
Yeah, but you know what, James? He's sitting in the box guy. You don't even need to deal with the cold weather and the sideline.
Like you just said, it's a you never sleep type job, but sure.
Sit in the box during the game. Rhea, what do you make of this?
I think John's word is the best word. It's messy. Because, we look at this team all year long with Fangio. That was the one side of the ball that got better as the year went on.
Way better.
We all talked about it. They lost 5 or 6 players defensively from the Super Bowl team, and it was going to be a mess, and they just kept getting better and better. And he's probably sitting there watching and saying to himself, if this offense was just average, they might still be playing.
Well, that's what worries me, that it was born out of immense frustration with the other side of the ball.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You think so?
Oh, I think it's 100%.
Very real.
That's what I tend to think. I mean, I don't know,
these
but
are
that's what I
human
tend
beings.
to think.
They're watching the same games we are.
Right.
It's just human nature.
And then, by the way, his defense in the playoff game doesn't play its best game. But it's like Quignon gets beat 3 times in the first drive. Cooper gets beat for a 50-yarder. And then people start coming down on the defensive end. He's probably like, really?
Yeah.
We guys, we held it together for 3 or 4 months. We had a couple bad plays from 2 of our best players. And now it's our fault? I don't know, man.
I'm just...
I don't know.
Let's think about how ridiculous this idea is. We know that the team told us that Nick Sirianni didn't do a good enough job at the play calling part, at the coaching part of the offensive side of things, so they took that away from him. Why is it we automatically assumed that CEO abilities fill in where the offensive responsibilities just didn't work out well enough?
Because we've seen him have success with them. It's not like that we haven't seen it.
That is a fair retort,
Yes.
James.
We've seen him have success,
Dude,
meaning we've seen him win.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude, you don't
So
just
that's
not
different.
any coach. You don't. The best roster in the world. You still have to coach it. Like I think you make this out like they could have any coach in the world could have stepped in and won the Super Bowl. Like I think that's unfair.
I agree with you,
it's,
James.
I think it's quite likely that coaches would have success with that roster. I think good coaches would have success with that group. I think he still deserves a ton of credit, but I don't think he deserves credit for things he has not done effectively yet, like manage this team properly when he's in a, quote, CEO role. This season, when he was in that role, it was not tidy.
Well,
but the year before it went great.
Into the
You know,
corners.
so-
Yeah. All right.
That's when he was in a different role, wasn't it?
No,
Well,
that's
no,
what I'm
he was
saying.
the
When he
head
was
coach.
CEO, they
Yeah.
won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right, look, 215-592-9494. What do you make of it? It's something, what's the saying? That
It ain't good.
Doesn't smell right in Denmark or whatever that
Yes.
thing is.
Or
Whatever.
something
Something's fishy.
Something fishy
Yeah.
in Denmark. Something like that. Yeah.
Something to me don't add up here. That's just my instincts. Where do you stand on this?
Something rotten in Denmark, I think, maybe.
215-592-9494. Not to mention the possibility if he's gone of Schwartz, who you really don't have personnel that fits his type of scheme. And then Gannon, who I actually think is a good
I don't
defense.
know, though. Schwartz's
We'll
scheme
say.
is all about having good corners.
And then Gannon, who no, it's more than that. And then Gannon, who I think is a good defensive coordinator, but didn't get on the team plane to come home with the squad after the Super Bowl and had a foot out the door before the game.
I would have let him march on Novacare if they brought him back.
Yeah, well, you know what, Ray?
And Gannon wouldn't have stopped me.
They still could. They still
No,
could
he's
bring him
Packers.
back.
No, he's
He's
saying he's the
Packers.
Packers
I'm
DC
sorry.
to go
I'm
to
sorry,
the
my
Thank
fault.
you,
Okay.
Green Bay.
All right, 215-592-9494. What do you make of the situation? Plus, Paul George. We'll get into that.